I've got to warn you in advance that on today's show, there will be spoiler alerts. And what is that? Years ago, a friend told me he was going to see the movie Titanic. I said, the ship sinks, you know. No, he said, why'd you have to tell me that? As if he didn't know. Well, you know about spoiler alerts. These warnings that you are about to reveal something others won't want to know about in advance. It usually relates to a movie they're hoping to see and would rather not have ruined. It can relate to other things as well. Here is a birthday card a sibling once gave me. Happy birthday, spoiler alert, no money inside. Well, it was true. There was no money, and there hasn't been, and there won't be. Years ago, my parents lived in a suite in our house, and one February, the Winter Olympics were held in Nagano, Japan, 16 hours ahead of us. So I taped those hockey games and watched them when I could. Team Canada was struggling, but they did make it to the bronze medal game. As I watched, my father, whom I dearly loved, tapped on our door, came in and said, well, they lost. I guess Dad saved me about 2 hours of misery. Spoiler alerts. Some people want to know the ending. Want to know that Darth Vader is Luke's papa. Sorry to ruin that for you. That Han Solo dies. That Rocky wins 13 times. A guy was checking out a book in the library. The librarian said, the hero comes back to life in that book, you know. Wait, you can't do that. I don't want to read the last page of the book first. Besides, this is a library. The librarian should be quiet. Shh. Back in 2004, Mel Gibson's movie The Passion of the Christ became the highest grossing independent film ever, a record that still stands. On Monday morning, a friend was at the water cooler in the office where he worked in Calgary, Alberta, when the talk turned to movies. And someone mentioned they had seen The Passion of the Christ, then said with wide eyes, you've got to see it, but I won't give away the ending. You won't believe what happens. Well, we know what happens, don't we? The hero comes back to life. You know, I was raised in a Christian home, and I can't remember when I first heard the news that he was risen. I almost envy that worker by the water cooler, hearing the news for the first time. I don't remember doubting the resurrection, but I don't remember really celebrating it either. On February 27, 1991, during the Desert Storm War, which expelled Iraqi forces and liberated Kuwait, Ruth Dillow received the worst phone call of her life. Her son, Clayton Carpenter, private first class, had stepped on a landmine and was dead. For 3 days, no one could comfort her. And then, on the third day, the phone rang. A voice said, Mom, it's me. I'm alive. Wow. It was her son, Clayton. At first, she thought it was a joke, a cruel joke. She remembers, I asked him questions only he would know the answer to, and then she began to weep. Her son, injured by a landmine, was very much alive. Can you imagine her joy? May we never lose the wonder of the pivot point of history, the greatest ending possible, the greatest punchline ever. Christ is risen. Jesus is the Word that spoke the universe into existence, the Word that called Abraham and Moses and thundered through the prophets, the Word that became flesh and dwelt among us, and we beheld His glory as of the only begotten of the Father, full of grace and truth. This Word burst from the grave, paying a debt we could never afford, defeating death and offering life. This Word could not be silenced, and it will have the last word. That, my friend, is the good news, the wonder-filled story of Easter. As a pastor introduced his sermon one Easter Sunday, he asked the children, do you see anything different about our church today? A little girl loudly responded, yes, it's full. Amen. Let's celebrate. Happy Easter. Listen, if you push that subscribe button, something cool happens to me. Or if you comment or like or share, something cool happens. So try it. Do it. Just for us, would you? Yeah. Look. I know. Kind of cheesy.